Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews, episode 86. Today we're going to go ahead and get out the heavy guns, and we're going to bust out another allocated item. This one is highly anticipated, highly sought after. Lucky enough to get a bottle this past winter during allocation lottery season, and not only I was able to get this bottle, but it was a store pick as well. So without further ado, this is a bottle of Stagg Junior. So a little bit about Stagg Junior. So it's just called Stagg, but on the bottle it used to say Stagg Junior. So what this is kind of like the diet. Well, I guess it's kind of the less mature or less finished or younger version of a George T. Stagg. So George T. Stagg is part of the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. And I tried to get a bottle of George T. Stagg this year, but it was virtually impossible because for the 2021 release, they didn't release it because Buffalo Trace was not satisfied with how their barrels turned out with that year's George T. Stagg. So they just went ahead and completely forewent the release for George T. Stagg. So they're released once a year. And so this year I try to get that, but I think this was a really nice consolation. So George T. Stagg is anywhere from like the 14 to 15 year range. These guys are 8 to 9. I mentioned it was Buffalo Trace is the distiller on this. Yeah, so again, I wasn't anticipating getting a bottle of George Stagg Jr., but I'm glad we got it today. So we'll go ahead and talk about it. And there's also some speculation that with this batch, so there's 18 batches. So this year, 2022 is batch 18, that they took the initial George T. Stagg distillate from the previous year that they didn't release, and speculated that they went ahead and put this a part of the mash bill for this year's Stagg Junior. So Stagg Junior, just like everything else, the Buffalo Trace does, they don't release the mash bill, they don't release the age, everything's a guess, everything's a mystery, everything's part of the mystique that Buffalo Trace likes to use to create more of a product, a higher product value of what you're getting. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and get into this. I've obviously cracked this open, I've tried it. I've had a couple people actually reach out before I even opened this for trades and for actually buy it from me outright, but I turned down for several reasons. But we'll go ahead and we'll open this up, we'll taste it, and we'll go ahead and give it a grade. So, and here. So for this right here, look, I mean, this is crazy. This is pretty dark, and this is, I mean, I think that's consistent with being a 8 to 9 year finish on this. Really nice amber color on this. I mean, just smells really nice. And this is a monster too. So this is 129.2. This I think this year's batches range from 129 to 131, and we talked about anything higher than, I think it's 136 is considered as hazmat. So nose, ton of brown sugar. I get apple. I don't get too much vanilla, but just apple, baking spice, and brown sugar just jump right out of the nose. I don't really get too much ethanol, but I think you know, you're gonna get a little bit because, again, this is 129.2. Really, I mean, it just smells like apple pie in the nose, like Granny Smith apple. And we'll go ahead and give it a whirl. Really nice finish. I think that sucker is strong. This tastes like candied apple, brown, like tons of brown sugar on this one. It does dry out a little bit towards the end, but just really incredible finish. I don't really get too much of the traditional caramel, vanilla. You do get a little bit, you do get some oak on there, but you know, again, it just tastes like apple pie. It's delicious, and we'll go ahead and give another one. Excellent finish. So, price point, I paid MSRP. This was $68. Secondary market, it goes for 500 plus. Price point 10. This is great for that. This is excellent. This is a 9 in taste. Overall, this is a 9.5. This is an absolute winner. I'm glad I got my hands on this. I'm glad I didn't trade it. I'm glad I didn't sell it. I'm glad I get to continue to enjoy this. So I appreciate it, guys. We'll talk soon.